How are we doing today? Who we got here? Hello, how are we doing today, sir? Thank you. Welcome, Gaetanos. Good to see you. Hello, Suzanne. I'm doing very well, actually, on this beautiful, somewhat rainy day here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Gaetano? You doing well? How are you, Suzanne? How are you doing today? It's good to see you today. How are you doing today, Suzanne? So we have a couple of people here now. Let's go ahead and get started. As you come on, I want to go ahead and say hello each time. I'm so grateful for who is here right now. Today, we are going to be talking about letting go. So yes, that's awesome. Letting go. So last time we spoke about shadow work. What is the shadow self and how to incorporate being into our shadow self and making it a whole. And one of the best tactics that we're going to use is what we're going to talk about today, the power of letting go. So before we get started on that, I have my notes with me, by the way. So if you see me going off to the side, it's because of my notes. So before we get going on everything, I want to remind everyone I'm here and that any of these areas that we're going to talk about today, the shadow work, shadow self, how to let go, the steps that we're going to talk about letting go, if any of these things are hindering you in your life, possibly, or you're confused about letting go, or you're confused about shadow work, or just getting into taking control of our thoughts and our emotions, this is what I'm here for. I have multiple programs set up for such work. I've been dealing with this for years, personally for myself for the first 5 years of my career, and then family, friends, and clients. So there's a couple places that you can reach me at. You can reach me on my Instagram at 86 Worries Official. You can reach me at my website, 86worries.com. I guess we can catch the theme here. You can get me on my email at coach@86worries.com. My Facebook, Donald Groves III, or my Facebook page, 86 Worries. Or you can just do the good old-fashioned way. Give me a shout, 843-614-0991. I have a plethora of ways that we can heal. Reiki is one of my favorite to start with, but mind-to-mind coaching, doing some NLP, human design. There's multiple tactics that we can use here. And that's why I'm here. All right, so let's get started with the power of letting go of stuff. So like we were talking about before, our vibration is everything. We have two vibrations, a temporary vibration that we can either bring up at any time with great reading, meditation, powerful friends, powerful public figures. We can temporarily raise our vibration. Or our second vibration, which is our habitual vibration. Our habitual vibration is our thermostat. So where our thermostat isn't how we feel about life, this is where we can find out about our rants. What are we ranting about? What are we saying under our breath? What are we saying to ourselves? That's usually going to be our habitual vibration. And that's the goal of doing shadow work, is bringing that habitual vibration to where we want to be temporary all the time. So these are some steps that we can do with letting go of the weights. And that's why the shadow work, and that's why shadow self, and that's why letting go is absolutely vital. Because we want to let go of the weights that are holding us down from reaching those higher vibrations constantly. Constantly being in a state of joy. I mean, not constantly because we are human, but for the most part, our thermostat is at joy, understanding, gratefulness. That's a beautiful thing. So the first thing we're going to go into about it is beginning to catch the conscious, unconscious thoughts and reframe them. Okay? So I'm looking off to the side because my notes. How you talk to yourself can either move you forward or keep you stuck. Paying attention to the vibration style of our ranting is what really guides us to where our vibrational thermostat is at. Often, having a mantra that you tell yourself in times of emotional pain can help you reframe your thoughts. So what I mean by that is one of my most favorite mantras in this world for when I'm going on a different vibrational path is, I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this body. I am not this mind. When I remind myself that I am not this body, nor this mind, I remind myself that my vibration is greater than the circumstances happening in my life. It's difficult when we believe our thoughts are real. But only 90% of our thoughts are not real, but perspective and experiences that we've learned through the years. So I am not my mind. For 90% of my mind is not real. I am not my body. My body is just a vibration of where I've been thinking. So I remind myself of that mantra. I remind myself to ground, chill out, and really look around and be patient. Because with my human design, my authority is my sacral. So taking the time to pay attention to my unconscious thoughts, bring that mantra into my life, and then reframe whatever rant I was going into. For instance, going into a rant like my car is acting up. You know, I'm like, God, this car, we can find everything wrong with it. However, if we find gratitude for what is good with it, we're shifting vibration. And that's where we really want to go, shifting vibration. So step one is becoming aware of the unconscious thoughts, the unconscious rants, and then reprogramming those rants into a positive rant. Because we manifest either way. So when you get positive when you're ranting, you create a positive outcome. But we're letting go of that. Two, with letting go. This is probably one of the hardest things that individuals have with letting go. So I probably should have put this one first. But it's create physical, emotional, and spiritual space. Space from either people, space from either items that we've kept from the past, space from certain thoughts, space from being in certain groups or certain alcohols or certain addictions, giving ourselves space from those items. It's not uncommon to hear someone that should distance yourself from a person or situation that's causing you to be upset. Eventually, you will be able to be around all these energies, and eventually at one point you'll be able to be around those lower vibrations and still be your authentic self. But for now, while we're in the process of healing, we need to distance ourselves from those individuals. So literally anything that reminds you of either said person, or either any event, we need to get ourselves away from it. Remove the photos, remove the items, remove the stories, even specific friends or people that are in your life that are just in a vibration that is not matching where you want to go. Remember, if we believe in where we're at, we're going to stay where we're at. We have to remember where we want to go. And that's why we're letting go of what we in the past so we can go where we want. Because we're getting tired of being in that stagnant place, right? We're getting tired of living this same cycle over and over and over again. I'm assuming so. I know when I got to a certain point in my life, I got tired of that same cycle. And when I realized that I kept doing the loop of hanging out with specific people, doing that loop of, oh, I want to get clean, but I'm going to go hang out with my buddies who smoke weed. You know what I mean? Which, nothing against that. However, I was still in the process of healing and was not able to put myself into that vibrational strength of being around them. So until I healed that, then I could place myself into that vibrational shift. But don't feel guilty about that self. Don't feel guilty about removing. If you have to remove someone, get it out. Time to clean house. Just saying. And so what the best tactic is for creating physical, emotional, spiritual distance is focusing on yourself. Focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. And so that's why I went ahead and chose the third most important thing of letting go is practice self-care. I know for a fact that a lot of clients that I had come in, and even myself in the past, would feel guilty about taking care of ourselves. And I'm not talking about getting a mani, getting a pedi. I'm not talking about going to the spa or treating yourself to a tattoo or treating yourself to food. But we beat ourselves up for taking a moment of mental health. Whether you go to a therapist, whether you go to a coach, whether you go to a hypnotherapist or a hypnosis coach, it doesn't matter. When we set aside those times, or even my favorite is Reiki sessions. When we set aside those times to take care of ourselves, sometimes we create these illusionary battlefronts saying that I need to hurry up and get this done. We have to hurry up because I don't have time for this. I don't have time to take care of myself mentally. And so when we get into that mindset, we're really defeating all the work we've been doing because we believe now that the self-care was not as important. But we get stuck on this superficial idea that our self-care is all going to be physical. Mani, pedi, like I said, spa, which those are great. But what about actually talking to someone about your mental health? And sometimes all it takes is just venting. We'll get to that one in a second. But when you're hurting, it often feels like there's nothing but hurt. Practicing self-care can look like setting boundaries, which is extremely important. Saying no, doing the things that bring us joy and comfort, and listening to your own needs first. That's self-care. When was the last time you chose you before anyone else? Now, I know it's difficult being a parent. If you're a parent listening to this, then you'll be like, well, I got to take care of the kids first. And I have 2 sons, so I absolutely get it. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about scenarios of the past. When was the last time you said no? Maybe it was often. I like to say no now quite often. It's one of my favorite words. I don't know if that's because I'm a parent. Who knows? But being able to say no, being able to stand up for yourself, being able to set the boundaries and not bowing out of the boundaries is absolutely important. Suzanne, let's see. What did you say? Hi, Letitia. Sorry, I just saw you. That I have my phone off to the side, seeing who's commenting. For some reason, I can't see it on my own thing here. Suzanne says, I know I feel guilty sometimes because I've been told I'm being selfish. Well, yes, Suzanne. That's one of the biggest things that is told to us is, how dare you be selfish? How dare you take care of you before you take care of me? How dare you? But how do you take care of self without the ish? How do you do that? That's why one of my favorite individuals to listen to is Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks talks about the power of selfishness, and not to the point to where you're cutting out the entire world, but when we get to a point that we've taken care of ourselves exceptionally well, we now are filled to the cup with love to now spread to others. In the process of self-care, we're letting go of the idea that I have to take care of the world. Does anybody know what it means when you're always feeling obliged to take care of everyone else except yourself? Can I get a codependent in this mind? A little bit of codependency happening there? How dare you take care of you before you take care of me? It's a difficult one. That's a hard one for a lot of people to understand. Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. So, hi, Letitia. Thank you for coming in today. I'm very grateful. So, we got that down. The more we implement self-care in our daily lives, the more empowered we are from the space. And our hurts don't feel as overwhelming anymore. When we take care of ourselves. Remember, a favorite saying of mine, and my friend said it the other day in a post, and it was great to have that reminder, that whatever your cup is full of will spill out. So if you're filled with lack of self-care, and if you're filled with anger or resentment, or the traumas are overfilling because you haven't taken care of yourself, because you haven't set boundaries, because that's what you've been programmed to believe, well, that same stuff is going to spilleth out. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. So, number 4. This is probably one of my favorites. The reason why this is going to be my favorite is because I am a lover of meditation. I meditate at least twice a day. And not every single day do I get twice a day, but on average, twice a day. And constantly throughout the day, here and there, you go and do like this little 2-minute, doing the deep breathing. But practicing living in the now. When we live in the now, we've now removed the past events. We've removed the chance of ruining the future with the same thinking that we've been thinking. Living in the moment of now. Eckhart Tolle is a beautiful writer about the power of now. Big fan. The more we bring our focus to the present moment, the less impact our past and future has on us. So the past being depression and the future being anxiety, if we think about those. The moment of now is the most powerful tool we have on us when it comes to letting go. When we start to dip into those lower vibrations, we can ask ourselves kindly, is this really happening? Another question we can ask ourselves that was told by my friend Shauna in the past, is this real? Who told you that? Who told you that? When we start having those thoughts, who told you that? More likely it's your friend Lego the ego. You know what I mean? We got to get rid of that ego. Well, can't get rid of the ego, but when we move to the moment of now, when we live in the moment of now, ego can't exist. Ego lives in the past. Ego lives in the future. Doesn't live right now. All that lives right now is a conscious you. So that's why it's so beautiful to have meditation. Meditation is bringing us into, if we meditate properly. Remember, meditation is not the act, but the outcome. So I actually got this one off of a YouTube, this little manifestation technique for healing through mindfulness of now. So step one, what we're going to want to do, we want to do a couple of deep breaths. Then you have like a really, really crazy, like a snow globe. I'm going to use this analogy too. Using a snow globe. You shake it up a lot, it snows everywhere, right? You know what I mean? I get it. So what we want to do is we want to calm the mind. We're not going to get rid of everything. We're not going to get rid of everything. But what we are going to do is calm the mind down. So we want to breathe in through the nose. Try it right now. Now through the mouth. We want to do this for quite a few breaths. We want to do it probably like 6 times, 7 times. That's your first step. We're calming the mind down. The second step is visiting. Now we're not judging. We're not dropping into the emotionalness of the past, but we're visiting this past thought. So after we calm the mind, we then visit the memory that brings the pain, that brings the shivers. I used to have a lot of memories I was scared of dealing with. Bring that into the focus. No emotions, no judgment. We bring this memory into, and what we're doing now is we're changing the memory. Here's the thing about the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind has no idea what is real or not real. Has no idea. Doesn't know. That's why whatever you believe in is going to be created, because the mind doesn't know what's real. It's going to give you what you want, what you create. Sometimes when we live unconsciously, we create a bunch of crap. Okay, so what we're doing is we calmed down the mind. We brought in this memory that causes this pain, that causes this affliction, and then step 3, we're scratching over a CD. We're erasing the thought. We are creating a new thought of what happened, and in that process, it's a way of letting go. So for me, a little bit of story time here for you. So for me, I got burned really bad quite a few years ago in the restaurant. I was walking out. I had a pot of oil, probably like 8 gallons of hot 350-degree fryer oil. Absolutely devastating story. So if you have a weak stomach, you might want to chill out. As I'm walking out so there's like 4 steps going to the outside to where we dump the oil out. As I'm walking down the stairs, I slip carrying the oil and completely dunked 8 gallons of 350-degree fryer oil all over my body. I have scars all over my body still to this day. Whole thing, whole kaboom, the whole flight, everything, helicopter, the whole extent. I went through a lot of therapy with this, and thank God for therapists, and thank God for specific coaches that really work with changing thoughts and mindsets. However, using that specific manifestation technique that I just shared with you, calming our mind, bringing the event in, and then changing it, I walked out that day at the restaurant carrying the pot of oil and nothing happened. And that was really able to help shift the perspective of what really happened in that trauma. I was very grateful for using that in my life. Let's see who's got. Hi, Bianca. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you very much. It's absolutely my pleasure to share whatever insights I have. This is my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things to do is talk, for one. I don't know if you can tell or not. So yes, with using that specific manifesting technique of changing the past, I was able to let go of that trauma just a little bit faster. I was able to get out of that trauma mindset within, 8 months, a year, possibly around that. So step number 5 when it comes to letting go is be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. I can't say this enough about being gentle with yourself. It's our first response to not be able to let go of painful situations. And what our first thing to do is criticize. You're not strong enough. You're not doing it. I can't believe you're so weak. That whole BS. We criticize ourselves. So now it's time to show ourselves some kindness, some compassion. We are our own worst enemies. So pay attention to how you treat yourself and what you tell yourself when you're doing something that is bettering who you are. So, I'm a big fan of different voices too. It's my jam. My kids love it a lot. Thanks, Suzanne. Thank you. So, dang it, I got off being gentle. So it's absolutely important, especially with that last part I was talking about, is when you're doing something to better who you are. And this is where the game begins, with having other energies and other people in our life. Because what we believe betters ourselves, a lot of people believe it's a bunch of crap. I know for a fact there is a huge divide between people who believe in therapists and people who believe in coaches. I did a post yesterday and I was not expecting the response that I got. I was asking about if people thought having a coach in your life was beneficial or not. And this whole debate happened about one being better than the other. And that wasn't my goal of the post, but I possibly could have worded it better. I'll take a look at that in the future. But what's great to see here is the unconscious mind. What's great to see here is that no matter what I posted, individuals will take off running thinking that it's supposed to be worded a specific way. So if I say that you want a coach in your life, well, now therapists, we're going to attack saying that one's better than the other, or people who go to school, and that's amazing. I believe therapy is just as powerful as coaching, and coaching is just as powerful as therapy. One is massively different than the other. With that being said, any judgment that comes from anywhere else, whether they're doing the best they can or not, doesn't mean bull. All that matters is what you believe works for you. What works for you? Does Reiki work for you? Because if it does, then that's amazing. But then we always get those individuals who are like, well, Reiki's just a bunch of magical astrology. I get a lot of people about astrology. I'm not attacking these individuals either. God bless you. God bless you. And God bless your mindset. We have to have a divided mindset to keep us all grounded. God bless you. However, if it works for you, I don't really care. As long as it works for you, be gentle about it. Allow it to flow. Allow it to flow. That's why we're going to go into my first favorite is meditation. My second favorite, anybody who knows my coaching style and anybody who's done any work with me, you're probably going to cry. More than likely. It's what I do. So in that process, I love the emotions to flow. I want it to flow. So allow the emotions to flow. If you fear the feeling of negative emotions are causing you to avoid them, don't worry, you're not alone. Trust me, you're not alone with that. I can't begin to tell you how many people believe that you're supposed to stay away from negative emotions. Don't think about those. Only the power of what is it? What's that book? The Secret. Only think positive thoughts. And that's cool, but that's not how we heal. That's not how you do shadow work. That is not how you're going to let go of anything. I promise you that. The moment you start ignoring negative emotions is the moment that we shut down the healing center. In fact, many times people are afraid of feelings such as grief, anger, disappointment, or sadness. These emotions make us whole, and that is the goal, to be whole, to take control of our thoughts, to take control of our emotions. Joe Dispenza says it best. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotions are the language of the body. Take control of your thoughts, take control of your emotions. That means our aura that we're putting out there that's controlled by our vibration When we make it whole and integrate ourselves into the shadow and light self of who we are whole. And we're able to help hurt people, hurt other people, healed people, heal people. It's just as beautiful and it's just the same. Let's see here. Some will believe and some won't. And that's okay. That completely is okay. That's what, Suzanne, that's what we want. We want difference of thoughts, difference of opinions. We want all that. If everyone thought the same, this world would be whack. Absolutely. So rather than feeling them, people just shut them out, which can disrupt the process of letting go. We don't want that. We want to let go. We want to let go of the weights. We want to raise our habitual vibration to the highest point that we can. Let them flow out. And anybody who knows me, like I said, my first question is, hey, what are you holding in? What are you hiding in there? It may require mental health intervention, but fighting them will leave you stuck. And that's why I love Reiki as much as I do, because when we use Reiki and we use energy healing, we are moving that stagnant, stuck energy. We're removing it, getting those vibrations and getting those blockages out and allowing flow to happen. Allowing the energy to be free in a sense. I don't know about free. Free is not the best way to say it, but we want to get it unstuck. We want to get the stagnation out. We want to allow it to be. Oh man, that was really good. Excuse me. So that's number 6, allowing the emotions to flow. 7. So this is about the power of letting go. Accept that the other person may not apologize to you. That's a big one. Everybody wants recognition for what happened to them. Everybody's in the victim cycle saying, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. You hurt me. You hurt me. You owe me an apology. You owe me. And when we get into that mindset, we get into that ego mindset. Oh, you're welcome, Suzanne. I'm glad that you got the Reiki done. Sorry, I keep pausing to look at the comments. We believe that when we get hurt, that we, like I said, human beings believe we deserve, or at least our ego believes it deserves to be hurt. How dare you hurt me? How dare you break my heart? How dare you lie to me? How, all that mental chittering. Because what the truth is that they're doing the best that they can too. These human beings are loving at the level that they love at. These human beings are doing the best that they can do, what they have available. And who are we to say, how dare you only love me the way that you can? How dare you treat me the way that you've been taught to treat? When in reality, the statement is how dare I let you treat me this way? So waiting for an apology from a person who hurt you will slow down the process of letting go. Because you're waiting. You're waiting for another human being to admit that they did something wrong. Whether they are evolved enough to understand that, that's hard to say. If you're experiencing the hurt and pain, it's important you to take care of your own healing, which may accepting that the person who hurt you isn't going to apologize. And like I said, that's okay. That's okay that they haven't apologized. And that's okay that they don't have the ability to share that they themselves believe that they did anything wrong in the first place. God bless them for even trying in the first place. Because remember, like I just said, hurt people hurt people. And so a lot of individuals get into relationships. That's usually what some of the biggest hurt that's out there is, broken hearts, relationships and stuff. There are some deep traumas out there that if you have any questions about, and you're stuck about letting go specific major traumas in your life, please get in touch with me. You can reach me on multiple different social medias. I have an Instagram at 86 Worries or at 86 Worries Official. I have my email. It's coach@86worries.com, and my website, 86worries.com. You can just contact me via cell phone, 843-614-0991. We can talk about this. We can talk about the traumas that have happened in your life. We can get past those hurdles. We can let go of the weights that you believe you're supposed to carry to raise the habitual vibration. We can work past that. I use multiple tactics of Reiki, human design. Oh, speaking of human design, I don't know if we read in a little bio over there, but if you're wanting to win a chance for next week or during this week, next week, the chance to, let me read it so I don't mess up, to get your human design chart read, hey, follow directions. If you follow me on Instagram, and then the most recent Bridges of Light post that I put on there, so every week, Letitia is so amazing. Thank you so much for making those Bridges of Light posts for me, or for everyone. They are absolutely amazing. So with that, I then post it on my Instagram. All you have to do is like that post, then comment on that post, human design. And then whoever does that, we'll go ahead and I'll do a drawing for you, and go ahead and contact you, either Zoom or whatever. There's a billion ways to contact you to do your human design reading. It's just a basic one. I'm not going to go like surgically in depth what I do for specific clients, but hey, to learn anything about the secrets of who you are, it's a really good idea. So let's check it out. Any comments I'm losing out on? Let's see. Oh, I got a like there. Nice, nice. Thank you so much. Suzanne, thank you. Appreciate the love. Hi, Katie. How are you? Just going through the comments real quick before we finish up on the last of them. Ding, 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 ding. Gaetano, it's good to see you. Okay. That's amazing. Just checking the comments out. Thank you so much for the love, everyone. I'm so grateful that you're here today. This is so much fun, isn't it? Letting go is just, man, it's like when I let go of specific wounds, and I can tell that I still hold on to some traumas in my life. It's like taking this weight off, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I've been carrying this around this whole time. You know, there's actually a great story of these two Japanese monks. And one day these two monks were from the monastery down into the village. And as these two monks were finishing up their time at this village, they were going to go to leave. And it had rained earlier. So the roads were very muddy and very just a lot of water everywhere. And back in the day, it was just dirt roads. So they're muddy. Well, when they got to the street corner, there was a puddle, and a mud puddle. The two male monks were standing next to this female woman. This monk lifts the woman up and walks her across the street. Well, he asked first, you know, he didn't just force himself on her and all that jazz. He asked her, like, would you like a hand getting across the street? The monk carries her across the street. Now, this walk that these monks have going back to the monastery is a long walk. So after the monk puts down the woman, they say their goodbyes. These two monks continue their journey back to the monastery. We're talking miles and miles later. The other monk turns to the monk that carried the woman and asks, why did you carry that woman across the streets? That's not our place or duty to do such a thing. And the other monk who carried the woman smiled and looked at his counterpart and asked him, he's like, I put that woman down when I reached the other side of the street. You've been carrying her this whole time. So it's in those moments that these weights that we carry are heavy. We don't realize how heavy these weights are. And I love that story because it reminds me of the fact that this emotional baggage that we carry, it's heavy. When we carry this emotional baggage of our traumas, of our perspectives, of our programming, and our subconscious boundaries that we keep lacking on and keep breaking down and letting others do whatever they want because of the lack of self-care, we really, really get weighed down in life. And so even a monk who practices day in and day out meditation, this and that, still has the same programming of the lower vibration, the lower thermostat of habitual vibration. I love that story. Oh, right. I know. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm such a big fan of that story. It's one of my favorite stories. So moving on to number 7. No, We already talked about that. Accepting that you're not going to get an apology. And how dare us really want, I mean, I know we wanting an apology. It's basically egoic because we feel like we deserve it. But at the same time, it's not a necessity to heal ourselves. It's not a necessity to let go of a specific trauma. Screw it. Move on. Don't need anything else. You are the master of your emotions. The moment that you step out of that mastery, the moment that you let anyone else affect you, is the moment that you let someone else become the master of you. That's the moment you let someone else become the master of your emotions. No, I think not. Number 8 on letting go. Give yourself permission to talk about it. How often do we have those moments to where we believe that we're the only one going through this process, that we're the only one being affected by said events or whatever the event is? Oh my God, water is so delicious. Letting go makes me feel relieved and peace is easier to find. Well, yeah, because here's the thing, Letitia. Peace was never gone. The peace has been here the whole time. It's just you can't see it when you're holding on to everything in front of it. You can't see the joy that exists in your life when we're weighed down by specific traumas, specific events, specific thoughts, and specific programs. We can't see it. We can't see that we're joyful creatures. We've created this illusion, this story of Letitia, not the actual authentic Letitia. There's a big difference. But that's a great perspective. Thank you for sharing that. So giving ourselves the permission to talk about it. When we're dealing with painful feelings or a situation that hurts you, it's important to give yourself permission to talk about it. Sometimes people can't let go because they feel they aren't allowed to talk about it. This may be because the people around them no longer want to hear about it. Or you're embarrassed or ashamed to keep talking about it. You're like, how dare I vent this to anyone? Because once again, more than likely, if you're living in this world of doing everything for everyone else, more than likely these people that you're doing this life with are not willing to listen to you because it's all about them. This is why we go back to number 2, emotional, physical, and spiritual distance, distancing yourself from specific people. It's inevitable. When you grow, whoever was in your past at specific times, more than likely, will not grow with you. It's inevitable. I still have some friends from the Navy, and I have beautiful friends. This beautiful family, the McClure family, live. They're such a wonderful group of people. I don't talk to them very often, but it's one of those friends. I'm sure everyone has some friends that just are in your life and probably will never leave your life, more than likely. My friend Flower out in California. God, we don't talk often, but I know we're friends. And I'm so blessed to have these people in my life. But your temporary friends that come into your life over a period of time, they are not going to grow with you. Well, you know what? How dare I say that? But 9 times out of 10, they're not going to grow with you. Because remember, with vibration, and this is the law number 2 of the universe, your vibration brings back to you same vibration. So when you grow, until you make a decision, not just some little decision, not like, maybe not, we'll see. No, when you make a decision, a decisive action in your life to grow and to better yourself, until you remove said vibrations, you will not bring in a higher vibe tribe. Let that resonate. Because at each level you go on growth brings a new level of friends, new level of circumstances, new level of understanding, new level of growth. Until you reach a point to where, man, it is what it is. Life is just life. And to enjoy it the best we can. So giving ourself permission to talk about it, but talking about it is important. That's why I recommend finding a friend or therapist or coach, wink, wink, that is patient and accepting as well as willing to be your sounding board. Now, God bless therapists. They're wonderful sounding boards, and they have this wonderful knowledge. The years God bless them for going to school as long as they did. The one thing that I know different between specific coaches and specific therapists, and that's not everyone, I'm just going to general, is that me as a coach, I slice in, specifically going towards what the issue is. And I also am a sounding board, but I'm only a sounding board for so long till action is going to be taken. Once again, I also know my boundaries. I also know when it's time to have a a certified licensed therapist take over a scenario. You know what I mean? And as long as the coach understands those boundaries, it's a beautiful process. So yeah, finding someone to talk to. If you don't have anyone to talk to, give me a shout. I'll listen. Remember, I always give a first 30 minutes are on me. Give yourself permission to forgive. So this is a big one. Forgiving. How to forgive. Since waiting for the other person to apologize can stall the process of letting go, you may have to work on your own forgiveness. It's really important. Remember, your vibration brings into this world. What you put out is what you bring back. So if your vibration is in a state of forgiveness, I forgive this, and I'm a forgiving person, what's going to be brought back to you? Forgiveness is going to be brought back to you. The ability to not only give, but the ability to accept forgiveness. That's another law of the universe we'll get into, and that's giving and receiving. They're equal weights of the two. You can't have one without the other, because if you don't, you block. If you're constantly giving and never receiving, you're blocking the process. We're now unbalanced. And if you're constantly receiving and never giving, it's the exact same thing. You're blocking the process. So it's the forgiveness, matching our vibration to that. Forgiveness is vital to the healing process because it allows you to let go of the anger. It allows us to let go of the guilt, the shame, the sadness, or any other feeling that you may be experiencing, just so you can move on. By allowing ourselves to forgive what had happened, it becomes much, much easier to let go of said experience. I'm grateful for the fact that I understand the importance of letting go. I still hold on to story time. So going through my divorce, a lot of bad things happened. And even talking to my mom a couple months ago, longer than that, I remember saying, like, I've let go of this, I let go of that, but I don't think I had the capability of letting go of this. And so just by consciously saying that, I'm now setting my feet up consciously to the unconscious mind saying, I can't forgive this. You know what I mean? So now my vibration is now in a lower vibration. Bianca, I have some good friends that even if I do not see them on long periods, only thinking about them, I smile. That is the power of certain friendship. That is the truth, Bianca. Absolutely. When I think of my friends who I haven't spoken to in months, I smile. So yeah, I get that. That's a beautiful, thank you so much for sharing that, Bianca. But Suzanne says, I do love how I choose who I surround myself with. Well, I was just talking about this earlier today with someone, and Suzanne, you're right. So it goes two ways here. It goes two different ways. So in the business world, business coaches will always ask you, silly papers, a business coach will always ask you, who are the 5 people that you have around you? Because whoever those 5 people are, their wealth is the wealth that you have in your life. But it also goes another way with mental health. Look at the 5 people that you have around you most days of your life. And those 5 people's mentality, basically it's a reflection of who you are. So take a good look at your environment. So we want to let go. Let's take a great look in our environment. One, is your house and your life organized and clean? Or is it chaotically strewn all over the place and dirty? How our inside world is a reflection. How our outside world looks is a reflection of what's going on inside. And so, talking back to the main point of who you have as your 5 closest people in your life that you see on the regular, or talk to on the regular, or who you have on the regular, is a representation of who you are. Spiritually, physically, mentally, money, the whole thing. They are a reflection of you. So not just that, but like our certain circumstances that we have in our life are a reflection of our vibration in life. So the more and more we let go, like Letitia had said, when I let go, I'm able to enjoy joy. I'm able to have joy. I'm able to see the joy in my life. And that's why I wanted to talk about letting go today. Because what I want to do, my goal as a coach, is to increase our habitual vibration. My goal as a coach is to take advantage of the law of vibration. Second law of the universe, law of vibration. First law of the universe, law of oneness. So when we realize that we are one with all, literally, and that's why that comes before the law of vibration, because when we realize that we are one, our vibration then brings into our life merely the reflection of who we are. People piss you off all day long? Take a look. Are you pissed off? Are you upset? Are you constantly emotional? You have a lot of emotional people coming up. People who, people complain about how much I talk, but they also talk a lot too. It's funny how those 2 things come into play. So let's recap. Recap time. So today was talking about letting go. And so the first step of letting go is beginning to catch your unconscious thoughts, unconscious words, writing them down and reframing those bad boys. We got to reframe. Them. Let's see. I think, Suzanne, that we are like magnets. We attract what we give at the end. 1,000,000%. That's exactly what I'm talking about with the law of vibration. What you put out is what you bring back. However, what you think is also part of that. What you think is just as vital. So it's a wonderful study that was done saying that our thoughts are like 20% of magic power. So if your thoughts are positive, your life is positive. And your thoughts are negative, negative thoughts are more powerful than positive thoughts. Now, they say when you speak these thoughts out loud, we're adding additional power to it. So since negative words or negative thoughts are more powerful, that means negative words are 70 times more powerful than positive words. And that's why it's so easy to go off on a negative rant and start talking shit about whatever or whatnot, not being grateful. Not being grateful for the present moment, not being grateful for what we have. Because it's just easier and more powerful to be negative. So if we catch these negative phrases, we write down these unconscious thoughts, make them conscious, and then reframe them. Reframe them. Go on positive rants instead. Because what's great is we're building the vibration up. The more positive we are, I'm not saying don't ignore negative emotions, but I'm talking about our thoughts. The thoughts, 90% of our thoughts aren't real. Changing those 90% to positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts. That's what we're getting at here. And getting those reframed to positive. So that's step 1. Step 2 is creating physical, emotional, and spiritual distance. We need to distance ourselves. We need to we gotta get rid of the clutter. We gotta get rid of stuff that remind us of either said person, said event. I can't wait for the actual date of my the hearing for my burn, because I still have the clothes that I was burned in, because they wanted to keep it just in case we were going to use it as evidence. I can't wait to throw that stuff away because I'm holding on to emotional. Those clothes, I was standing there in fear. You know what I mean? It's just like, and clothes are just, if you look at clothing from dead individuals, they give off an energy. We got to get rid of that stuff unless we want to suffer. I don't like suffering. I put them in a container and put them in a separate room and put them away. So getting rid of that stuff, getting rid of it there, and focusing on yourself. 3, practicing self-care. And not just the self-care of mani-pedis, which is cool, going to the spa. I'm not talking about that self-care. I'm talking about mental self-care. I'm talking about having boundaries. I'm talking about saying no. Can you say no? I hope you can. I have faith you can. I don't hope anything. I have faith that you can. And if you can't, get in contact with me. I have this great class on letting go and creating boundaries. No matter the scenario, stand up for yourself. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's the most important thing about letting go and healing. Is saying no. No, I can't do that. With a smile. At first, it's hard because codependency is pretty heavy in this world. Letting go of that codependency is not an easy task. Yes. Well, blue days are going to happen. It's literally written in our design. But the question is how do we handle ourselves on those blue days, Bianca? The question is because temporary vibration doesn't just go up. You can be an elevated, a habitual vibration, and your vibration can temporarily go down. Vibration is always going up and down all over the place. The question is where is our habitual vibration thermostat at? That's the real question. Because if it's at a higher vibration, when we temporarily go down, the temporary low is not nearly as bad as those in the past, those lows. Practicing self-care. So 4 is practicing living in the now, staying in the moment of now. Get out of the past, getting out of depression, getting out of the future, leaving the anxiety behind. Creating a meditation, creating a mantra for ourselves. Excuse me. Once we get a mindfulness going on, staying in the moment of now, we can combat letting go. Because every time we have those thoughts, either way, we can say like, that doesn't exist right now. And we can deal with the healing right now. So number 4 is practicing living in the now. 5, being gentle with yourself. 6, allowing the emotions to flow. It's okay. It's okay. So this is what I mean, what I was saying before. The negative emotions, we have to feel them. Negative emotions are part of who we are. We are allowed to be whole. You're allowed to have whatever emotions that you want. You're allowed. Negative emotions causing you to avoid them, don't worry. When you feel grief, anger, disappointment, sadness, it's not putting them away. Don't shove them into a box. Ask yourself, why? Why? Why are you here right now? Why? Why am I feeling anger? Anger is a secondary emotion. What is the real emotion happening here? More likely it's fear. But why? We can't ask the why from a non-judgmental place if we're not willing to accept that we have these emotions in the first place. It's a lot of gurus out there telling you to think positive all the time. Thinking positive is powerful. But if you do not accept the fact that you have negative emotions, your positive thoughts will be short-lived and only temporarily risen and not habitually. Let them flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Accept, number 7, accept that the other person may not apologize. Screw them. You don't need their apology. That's only ego saying, how dare you? You need to treat me better. You need to apologize to me. Apologize to me. Doesn't work like that. You don't need it. Let that shit go. Let it go. Let it flow. 8, give yourself permission to talk about it. Find a friend who will listen. At the same time, don't make it all about you and listen to them as well, too. Or if you don't have any friends that are going to listen to you, get a coach, get a therapist. It will change your life. That I can promise you. Just venting and sharing and just getting it out. You're letting go of one of the most important parts, and that's the verbal baggage that we carry. By just talking about it, sometimes we're able to let something go just by simply talking about it. Okay? 9, give yourself permission to forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. We're our own worst enemies. Forgive yourself, for goodness sakes. And I mean, even if you did something negative, whatever, forgive yourself. We should never, this is a difficult one to say, because my own programming of wanting to help others comes out when I say this. We should never apologize, no matter what, for anything that we've done. It's just the moment that we, and depending on what it was, but even to apologize is saying we're less than worthy in what we thought we were at that time. Now, it's a difficult game playing the selfishness game and love yourself game and this whole, the whole 9 yards all the way around. But at the same time, a lot of times, actually, if we believe that someone owes us an apology, more likely we believe we owe people an apology. So more than likely, it's an ideology or a thought process that we believe that exists. I guess we can ask ourselves this question: is it real? Is it real? Are the thoughts that you tell yourself real? 90% of the thoughts aren't real. So is it just a perception or a perspective that you believe is real over all these years? That you've been told when you're a child and then you carry it into your own life now? You should. I'm glad to hear that, Bianca. Forgive yourself. It's okay. And 10, I left this one out before because I was going to talk about it now. 10 is getting professional help. Sometimes professional help is needed. And I'm saying even more than a coach, depending on the coach himself. But I know that I've had a few clients in the past who it was beyond my understanding of how to help. And so finding other outlets that can give a medication. I'm not a fan of medications. I'm really not. But it's pretty obvious that medications work sometimes. Medications work for other people differently than they do for others. I still always strongly suggest to get a strong form of meditation in your life, because we want to work on the unconscious mind. We want to work on the subconscious programming is what we really want to do. We want to raise our vibration habitually. The habitual vibration is what we want. So, absolutely fantastic show today. Thank you so much for showing up. Very grateful. And like I said, if you want to win the chance of getting your human design chart read, follow the instructions. Follow my Instagram account, 86 Worries Official. Like the most recent Bridges of Light post, the SOULVOLUTION, letting go. Comment on said post, human design. And what I'll do is I'll go through those and I'll get the names. I'll put the names in the hat and I'll do a drawing. And then by Monday, I'll have an answer of whose design chart that we're going to do. It's a good time. If you haven't done your human design reading, it's pretty important. If you really want to know if you want to know your shadow aspects easier and faster than having to hunt for them, human design will show the gateways, all the avenues that are open. And then we can go in depth on what the shadow side and the positive side of each one of those gateways are. It's pretty cool. Well, thank you, Suzanne. I'm very grateful for that. Until next time, thank you so much for showing up for SOULVOLUTION. If you have any questions whatsoever, go to my Instagram at 86 Worries Official. Go to my website, contact me that way at 86worries.com. You can always email me at coach@86worries.com or give me a text, 843-614-0991. And out of everything with letting go, I want to remind you that you are perfectly right where you are. We get frustrated because we want to be over here when we're over here. But we can't get there until we go through this. So right where you are right now is perfect. And just remember to do your best and 86 the rest. Thank you so much for coming today. Namaste.